Oh, sick shirt, bro. Okay, slow.
Right when a truck coming. Oh. Welcome back, everybody. Jub and I are right now in Arizona. We got a hair up our butts, so we come to Arizona and we're gonna buy something. But while we're in here, we're gonna stop at Hughes Performance, hang out with Pete for a bit, and then buy something, then venture home. We're gonna like a 22-hour drive home, so we're gonna mess around and have a great trip home. Right now it's pretty sunny out. See the mountains. First time for both of us being in Arizona, so it's pretty cool. We're waiting on Patrick to pick us up. I went to college with Patrick and we're gonna hang out with him for a day. He lives down here, so that's our plans. I guess stay tuned. We've got something for you guys. How's it going, everybody? As you can see, we're at Hughes Performance here in Phoenix. We're gonna talk to Pete. He's gonna give us a little tour on what's going on and how these things are made.
So this is all just shipping receiving area. We run a daily average of anywhere from probably around 23 to 26,000 shipments a day.
Okay.
Not a good month. On a slow month, we'll drop a little bit lower.
Yeah.
It's all just kind of warehouse area where we try and keep inventory of like A-order stuff.
Yeah.
Summit, eggs, Rocket in Australia, which is like the Australian version of Summit. Basically, they're like our biggest customer.
Okay. Yeah.
They buy, Summit's been buying hundreds of converters at a time to the point where they're varying.
Yeah.
Or the demand is like we've ever seen. We have our own little CNC area. We have two CNC lathes. We're actually buying another CNC lathe. I'm getting a 5-axis because, again, I have to keep up with demand and parts manufacturer. We just got our own broach, so the broach is when we create the spline, like in the converter hub. Yeah, so we can do all our own broaching now instead of having to buy them.
That works out good. Yeah, when it's in your hands, you know it's good, right?
Exactly. We have right at 40 employees right now, going over in front office and back. This is the main welding area where we finish assemble all the converters, all the So converters will come off the builder's benches. They'll go through alignment, spot welding process, and then we check them for run out. And if they pass the run out, then we'll go through and finish weld the main bead around the outside. After we finish weld them, we pressure test them. And it's a really high-tech device. It's a bucket of water. And we just use adapters to run shop air in, over the pump.
And you just see if they leak. Yeah.
If they bubble, they go back to the builder. If they don't, then they move on to polishing, where we finish polish the hub, and we balance them. There's a balancer over there. They have to get balanced. Yeah. So the thing about converters, because they don't stand the wheels, they actually do a really good job of balancing themselves, kind of like how a fluid damper works on a motor. But I mean, you still have the metal components that can get them a lot of balance. Okay. Yeah. A lot of them, you don't actually have to add weights to. There are certain boards that do need some weights. Yeah. So we have sheet metal weights that will tackle over the outside to bring it to the balance. It's basically like a tire balance. Split that way. Yeah. Right. And then paint box. Also get palletized. Secondary welding area. Stick welding. So he's just welding turbine hubs, welding pump hubs, raising fins. He does that all day, every day. Repairs cases when we get got a graphic on the outside.
So, like the fins over here?
Yeah.
And now, on our stall speed, that's just all on the bend, right?
Yeah, so like, that's the impeller, so the pump side of the converter.
Yeah.
And we can take this outer impeller fin, you see how it has that curved shape to it? So we can bend that either direction and alter the stall speed of the converter and the coupling characteristics of the converter.
Okay.
So between this fin angle change and then the stator design, that's primarily what sets your stall speed characteristics and coupling characteristics.
That's cool.
And then, we go in and we add all this silicone spot raising in all the high stress areas.
Yeah.
There are some cores that are really bad about tearing these fins if we don't do that. So we reinforce all our stuff to prevent that from ever happening.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's what an unwelded one looks like. Okay. You can see it doesn't have any of the spot raising in there.
Oh, yeah.
All of these pumps will go through that spot raising process.
How long does from this to that take?
You can do a pump in probably 20 to 30 seconds.
Oh.
You can do all that spot raising.
Oh, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, he's pretty fast.
Yeah. Wow.
Benches that we build all our converters off of. We have 3 builders over on this set, and they do all our race converters. So whether it's welded or bolted together, if it's one of our custom spec builds, we have 3 guys that do it.
Okay.
Dave's been here 39 years, Rich has been here 30 years, and then Rich's son Matt is an apprentice. Yeah. He's been with the company, I think 6 or 7 years. He started off in transmissions, mastered that, now he's mastering converters.
Okay. Yeah.
The kid's like a genius. So
yeah.
Next generation, keeping it going.
That's good, right? Yeah. You need that.
And then we have 5 builders that work off this bench and the bench in the back that do all our production. So like your GM25, the 2500 street stall, all that type of stuff that we just keep on the shelf. We have 5 builders producing those. So we have a run of, these will end up being Ford C4 2000 and 2500 stalls. So that's what these are on the bench. But right now we average, on just like production stuff, we're averaging anywhere from 150 to 200 converters a week that we're manufacturing. And then on the customs, we're doing 30 to 40 a week. Most of them are bolt togethers. They're really labor intensive. There's a lot of welding involved, but this is all stuff that people have sent in, whether it's ours or somebody else's, and we're in waiting stages for call speed adjustments or repairs or modifications, or we'll do bolt together conversions on other brand converters. That's been real popular.
I mean, I don't know much about converters, but is there much difference between Hughes and, let's say, a PTC?
So honestly, when it comes to converters, no matter who you buy from, everything starts as an original core out of some sort of original car or truck application. Apart from the billet aluminum stuff, like your Neil Chance or your new Marsh Mickey aluminum bolt together, those are pretty much plain sheet designs.
Yeah.
When you're dealing with any steel converters, everything's based on an OEM core.
Okay.
So whether you buy from us or PTC or ProTorque or whoever, we're all starting with the same basic core components. Different companies prefer different cores for different styles of builds, but really where the difference is in terms of function and performance comes down to largely stator design, how you set up the internal clearances in the converter, and the type of fit angle you want to get.
Yeah. Like I was saying, I got mine, 6 weeks ago before the Pro XS come out. And I never had an issue with it. And then I brought it back to you. You guys opened up and changed it. I gained 8 mile an hour out of it.
Yeah. You actually, so your converter is built from a Toyota 9.5-inch core, which we still use a ton of. Everybody in the industry does because it works so good. But you actually got the very first Pro SSX Toyota build we ever did.
Okay, perfect.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, right? Right? I'll take it.
And the difference, so like our regular Pro Series stuff, like what you had in your truck before, had a billet aluminum stator like that.
Okay, yep.
And then our Pro SSX use custom fabricated steel stators.
Okay.
And these type of stators give a lot better coupling characteristics, which you saw with the miles per hour gain. They typically build boost easier. They have, looser characteristics down low to flash quicker. And we have even more options in terms of the vane angle, vane count, vane positioning, compared to the billet stuff.
Yeah, this one's easier to manipulate probably.
So our Pro SSX that is so popular right now, and then our NTX all use this style of fabricated steel stator.
That's crazy to see the difference in them too.
Right. I mean, this style of stator design still has its place in the type of racing that you guys are into, the real max effort, high horsepower, power adder stuff. Mostly this design of stator just can't hold the candle. Yeah. And this isn't new, like some revolutionary Hughes only design. I mean, those stators are unique to us and how we set them up. But fabricated steel stators have been around for decades. So, we don't ever want to give the impression that like, oh, we created this. It's not a new idea. Just how we set up the vanes and all of that stuff is unique to our product.
Yeah, the way it's done here.
Yeah, but it's not an original idea, so to speak. Sorry, basically it's a middle where we do all the manual machining on the first part. Even though we have CNC, we still do a lot of basic you can see all these parts in various stages. Because we're dealing with OEM cores, typically a lot of stuff comes out of front-wheel drive applications actually, as far as the cores go.
Or, the word for F-O-R, then T-H-W-N.
Okay.
What the hell is that stand for? As they're pretty much strictly for racing. Okay. Yeah, there's less than Fox.
So, I know a lot of the fluids that go in that stuff is kind of transmission builder related, like what they think. What's the difference between like a Dex 5 and like a tractor hydraulic oil, really?
So a lot of your ATFs have specific additives in
Those
them
would be
to
9.5
help
inch
prevent,
motors. And
sludging,
traditionally, you'll probably
glazing, the friction materials. And they're designed to be, used in a passenger car or truck application where it's going to see, potentially hundreds of thousands of miles. Probably not get serviced as frequently as it should. So it has the additives in there to help the oil live in those type of environments. Whereas with your tractor oils, they're actually usually a lot more pure with a lot less additives in them. So your tractor and your hydraulic oils typically have a higher shear resistance. So as the converter's coupling, it's not trying to shear the oil as much, and that's why converters will usually pick up efficiency with a tractor or hydraulic oil. But because they also don't always have the additives in them that, a regular ATF does, it makes servicing more frequently, in terms of component life in the transmission. It really just all depends on what kind of oil you're using. Like, for guys that want to run hydraulic oil, the best stuff out there, in my opinion, is AMSOIL compressor oil. But it comes with a premium price. But the stuff is amazing. I mean, the transmission components wear really well. You get better converter efficiency than you do with, like, a tractor oil. But it comes with a price, but it also doesn't have to be serviced as frequently. John Deere High Guard's been popular for decades. That still works really well up to a certain level. You start getting up around like 1,800, 2,000 horsepower. High Guard can be a little hard on gear sets in the transmission, depending on the weight of the vehicle. But other than that, it works great. Your really cheap, generic, like Tractor Supply stuff. I mean, I know a lot of guys use it. It has an attractive price point. Some guys swear by it. I'm not big fan.
See, I know a lot of the guys around me just go, $30 for 5 gallons. Where I'm buying Dex 5, 3 for $80 for 2.5 gallons.
Right.
So,
the thing with the cheap tractor oils, especially when you're really putting some horsepower to them, is they'll usually work fine when you first put them in. But once the oil starts to break down, it can start making the converter act goofy. It can start making the transmission act goofy. And it may not even be anything that you can necessarily pick up on the driver's seat. But if you have data, you can find it in the data. And then you can dump it and put a fresh batch in, and then the stuff starts acting right. So, I mean, for the guys that insist on using it and are making decent power, I would just say service it frequently. But, if you're spending the same money 2 or 3 or 4 times over for more frequent service, and you could have just bought a better oil to begin with, your money ahead.
That's how I feel.
And if you think about it, at the end of the day, the only thing you have transferring power to tires is oil. There's no mechanical coupling converter unless you have a converter. So you have this fluid joint that you're relying on to accelerate 3,000 or 3,500 pounds to 140 miles an hour at 600 feet. That's asking a lot for fluid. I think it's worth buying good fluid. That's just me.
Thanks. I thank you a lot for letting us come over and we've been talking for years, so it's on those things. And
it's awesome.
I was hoping maybe I'd catch you at PRI, but they canceled that last year. So
I'll be there this year. So if you're gonna go,
I think we'll be there this year too.
Cool.
So. Well, I suppose.
Right on. It was really nice meeting you guys. Glad you made it by.
Jump. Go up on the ledge. Go up on the ledge. Right in front of you, right on the ground.
Just went over to the McDonald's, but he's on top of the rock. Down in the tree.
Oh, he's freaking hauling. Right there. He's got his mask on.
Right. Yeah, you pussy.
No. So as you can see, Jub and I did fly out to Phoenix. We went there. We seen Pete at Hughes Performance. Pete gave us a tour. Hughes Performance is an awesome shop. Got a lot of local guys that have been there for 30 some years. That's pretty cool, and I think there was like a grandpa, a dad, and a son that was working there. So 3 generations also working there, which is awesome. Pete and those guys there at Hughes Performance are class acts. So I was in town, so I told him, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna come over. You know, I haven't met Pete yet, and Pete has backed me since the beginning of the S10. So it's kind of nice to put the face to it. The person I've been talking to for years now. But when we were there, I have a buddy I went to college with. He's down in Mesa, Mesa, whatever you guys say it is. And I got to hang out with him for a day, which was awesome. He's got a nice house with a pool and all that stuff like that. So he went and took us sightseeing. He come to a Hughes Performance with us too, so he got to see kind of what the whole performance race car world is. But the main reason Jub and I went down to Phoenix is to buy this. So this is a 2004 Chevy 1500, and it is 3-linked on airbags all the way around. It's got 150,000 miles on it. It's like a bluish gray with metallic pearl in the paint. It's pretty shiny if you can see all that flake in there. But got an SS bumper on it, all that stuff like that. But on our way home, we got Las Vegas, Nevada, and me not knowing nothing about air ride, we had the front up so you can turn, because you can't turn with it all the way down. Plus this lays frame, so when it's all the way down, it's on the ground, frame's on the ground. So we were driving, and I noticed that Jub was driving, and I noticed that the passenger front bag was not holding air anymore. So we ended up stopping and figured out that when it was up in the air with the move of the suspension, we ended up wearing a hole into the front bag. So we were like 6.5 hours from Denver. So we patched it up and actually got to Colorado Springs, where a guy named Jake Allen loaned us some tools and his shop access, and we took the tire off and we took the sway bar off, and we got some tire patches and patched the airbag and wrapped a whole bunch of Gorilla Tape around the bag trying to hold the air in. We got home, it was like I think it was right at like 25 hours, 1,550 miles to get home, and Jub and I drove it straight through. The truck is trashed. We went through like 4 rainstorms, a hailstorm. When we left Phoenix, the desert was flooded, so there's sand dunes on the road. Yeah, the truck is just dirty as heck. But I don't know if you guys will be able to see this, but that's our patch job. We got a whole bunch of tape and everything on it, but the sway bar come right here and come down right here, and it literally rubbed a hole into the bag right here. You know, it wasn't as big as my finger, but it was close enough. But this is the truck. It's gonna be on the channel. It's more of a daily for anything. It's on 22-inch dubs. I may go bigger. I think I can tuck a 26 into it, so I might go into that. But this is what the truck looks like. And it's just got plain Jane interior in it, but it's clean. Looks really good.